Prep for 420 starts in February, usually. Reaching out to the vendors and kind of asking them, we're coming off of the holiday. We know, what items we need to kind of sell through, what items we need to reorder. There's lots of deals out there. Everybody wants to give you everything for a penny. They want to come in and do a demo, and all great, but it's operationally, you need to narrow it down because it gets really confusing to the customer and to the people that are working in the stores that actually have to execute your strategies. So usually just stick with 2 to 3 strategies, whether it's price point oriented or we have something that is, a BOGO, for instance, or we have demos. We kind of keep everything in that. And we also use it as an opportunity to sell through underperforming inventory. So this is an opportunity to be like, hey guys, you sold me this really weird flavored cookie and no one's buying it. So can you help me? And then they usually, you can talk to the vendor where they can credit you back. So you can use that towards a future order, or maybe they'll come back, you can mark down that product to get it moving out. And then it's also a great opportunity to get really great deals for your customers. And the only thing I don't do on 420 is I don't do new brands. I usually steer away from that unless it's a brand that is, if there's other deals going on around it, that I'm here to support other departments so they can have their goals fulfilled as well. If it's in the month of February and it's a new brand, that makes sense. But in the month of April, I'm not onboarding any new brands. We'll talk in May. I'm a consultant, so I work with multiple dispensaries. So I would use something like Meadow. I would download a report and you just run through these 4 flavors aren't selling well. I need to get rid of them. I own X amount of units. It's going to cost me X amount of dollars to mark it down. I need the support from you. And hopefully the vendor or the brand will partner and hold hands with you and do that. And if they don't, then, it is what it is and you take the markdown and you move on. But most brands these days, it's a very competitive landscape. So everybody's willing to work as a team and help you move through those products. So maybe it's a BOGO. Hey, we have 200 units. We usually have traffic of 800 people today, and, X percent usually purchase edibles. So how can we market it towards those edibles people? Maybe it's buy something of that brand and receive this underperforming inventory at 50% off. It then just becomes hey, you're already buying your chocolate chip cookie. So let's throw on this chocolate fudge cookie for a penny for you. And to the consumer, they just get a free bag of something. And to us, we're able to really move through the inventory and make room for new things that are coming in. A lot of one of my shops that I work with, it's one store and their back room is the size of your average bedroom. So it's not fitting a lot of inventory. I rather not have extra inventory. So I do the math and I go back and look. I use my analytics. I would use that, look back a couple of weeks, see what my average sales are in those categories and in those things that I'm focusing on and that I'm bringing in promotional items to support. And then I go with, hey, let's try, we sell X amount of units in this amount of time. This is just a 1-day thing. However, actually most of my clients are doing it through the weekend beforehand. So it's starting Friday leading up to the promotion. So people don't get, you can get a good deal. You don't have to go on Tuesday is our point. Just, you have to do the math and figure out how much you sell through. And then I just do combine my math with what the vendor can provide. And then the term while supplies last, because I'd rather not have extra stuff in the back because of expiration dates, because of space, etc. If we want to run another promotion or another a demo or something where we would use that product, that would be the time where I would go after the fact and download a report to see what I still own after 420, and then I would create a plan to use that inventory, whether it be some staff sampling for being such great staff members during 420 if I didn't already plan to reward them in that matter, or I would use that inventory for another promotion. But long story short is I buy very tight and to the point and to the need, because you just get caught with all this extra inventory and you don't really need it every time. It really just depends. If the vendor's we want to give you 200 units, I'm not going to be well, I only want 22. I might say okay, let's settle in the middle, do 100 and save the other 100 for promotion 2 months from now or 2 weeks from now. Because also we have to think about during 420, we have to think about bounce back opportunities, because now everybody is loading up. They're buying a lot more than they normally would. They're receiving a lot of promotional products, so they're going to be good on their personal stock for a few weeks. So you always see the sales like go up 420 and then dive back down and then come back around in like May. So our second week of May, we try to capture those like 2 weeks after 420 to like bring people back sooner than they would. With that, we do like bounce back coupons where it's like, hey, like thanks for purchasing this, I'm just going to stick with cookies examples. Thanks for purchasing this like chocolate chip cookie, or, come back and like get it again in 2 weeks for, we'll have promotional units then too. If you come back, you'll get another one in 2 weeks. Something to like be able to bring them back to your store, because also in 420, the customer usually bounces around. So just give them a reason to come back. So the bounce back thing and partnering with vendors is usually how I do that. So some of my clients work like in like a decentralized manner where like the general manager is purchasing, and then other clients like I'm doing the overall purchasing for them, and we have like people that are executing like my strategies. So it really just depends on the strategy of that store, but every store needs to have communication down to the sales team, because doesn't matter how much you bought, if they can't execute any of it because they don't know that it's there or they don't know the promotion, then like, what are we doing here? At larger corporations, like when I was at MedMen, we had a communication team that would trickle down those. Like I would provide that information for the comms team. They would put it in verbiage that for the store language that they're used to. And then, but that would be done like 6 weeks in advance, like kind of situation. So with stores that are running a smaller operation, still all the same details and all the same amount of work goes into it. You're just talking about, 2 or 3 stores or 1 store instead of, 10 or 12. We develop a communication through that team. So it's very important that we talk front of house and like let them know, like, hey, these are like the 5 promotions that are happening. These are the 15 promotions that are happening. This is the inventory you're going to get that's going to support these promotions. Do you have any questions? This is what you scan. Like one of my stores, for instance, is doing gift bags, which I know is very popular. So it has like 8 SKUs in it that are cannabis, and everything else is like non-cannabis. So it's okay to put in the bag. I was on the phone with her yesterday and with one of the person that's coordinating it, and I was placing the orders for her. And I was like, are all the bags going to be different? Are they going to be color coded? Like, what's the deal? She's like, no, they're going to be different. They're going to have to like open the bag and like scan them. And I was like, so why don't you have 3 different versions of this bag and then create a sheet that's going to have all the barcodes on it? So then they just pull the sheet and scan it. And she was like, oh my God, that's a great idea. And like, you never even think about these things, but like these things help people actually like execute what you're trying to do, especially now in like the times where you can't have that many people in the store. This gets people out faster. We narrowed it down. Let's create like 3 different types of bags and have set SKU lists that they can scan. So yeah, all of that comes down to operational and communication towards like the front of house.